Hello, my name is Jamie Olson. I'm the head coach of West Salem Baseball, and I welcome you to this year's 2021 Spring Baseball Parent Meeting. I'm going to share my screen and show you the packet that your son will be bringing home sometime next week for you to read a little bit more in depth. I will not go through the entire packet word for word because if I do, it's going to take us about 2 hours to get through it. Now, going through the packet, as I've already said, my name is Jamie Olson. I'm the head coach. The head JV coach is Nick Schultz. Head C team coach, Adam Krause. Pitching coach, Josh Malachewski. Assistant coaches, Randy Schultz, Kyle Helgeson, Jared Hauser, and Curtis Fry. The philosophy of the West Salem baseball team. West Salem baseball will be a fast, exciting team to play for and watch. West Salem will showcase a stiff defense built around strong pitching and great fielding. Our offense will show the strengths of our hitters. However, while on the base paths, the Panthers will play an aggressive style of baseball by putting constant pressure on the opposing team's defense. One major part of our team is our competitive edge. The West Salem baseball program promotes players playing in multiple sports. We want and need players to stay competitive. Players wanting to compete at the varsity level will be highly encouraged to play a minimum of 2 sports during the school year, Legion baseball during the summer, and lift year-round. Staying competitive and lifting year-round will raise our level of play as well as our ability to play a fast and aggressive style of baseball. One thing that's really important is to understand that the competitive edge is what is going to promote our players into winning many, many ball games. Ryan Olson, our new athletic director, has been pushing lifting for all of our programs, and I would love to be the leader in making our program one of the first programs to lift year-round, as well as lift during the season and potentially every day that we have practice. There's a number of things for the West Salem baseball coaching responsibilities, and you can read this when you get the packet. I'm not going to go through each one of them, but I do have it broke down into the different roles that the coaches will have. So you can read that, learn from it, and then have an understanding of what each coach does. We also have game day coaching responsibilities. The biggest thing with the game day coaching responsibilities is when you come to the field, you're going to see coaches working, getting ready, and getting the players ready for play. Practice responsibilities, the head coach is writing the practice plan along with the assistant coaches. We all have a part in this. The assistant coaches have their place to coach, their strength to coach, so they will be responsible for parts of that practice plan. If students or players want to see the practice plan, they can come down to my office each day and read what the practice plan is for the day. The game days, head coach will be meeting with officials, pregame speech, obviously coaching third base. The head coach is responsible also for putting together the lineup with the help of the assistants. That lineup will also be posted each day by my office. We promote the mental game here. We've been doing that for many years. Part of the mental game is players being ready to play. One real strong thing that we will be doing is have a pitching rotation. So by the end of the year, the players will know when they're pitching. But also players that are not pitchers like to know if they're in the game that day to mentally prepare for the game. And so they can stop down, check that out every single time we have a game. Program development, we want to be in the youth programs as much as possible. The more we can take time to coach and help out with the development of our young players, the better our high school program is going to be. Practice expectations. Players will be expected to be at practice 15 minutes prior to the start time. Practice will start immediately as schedules. Players will be expected to be at all practices. Players should be picked up 15 minutes after practice to allow for cleanup and stretching. For example, practices finish at 6. Please pick up your child by 6:15. I will talk more about that when we get to our practice plan. Players should be wearing proper equipment. They should have practice gear. They should have the right equipment to play the positions they're going to play. Like I always say, a cup is not something you drink out of. A cup is something that protects you. We also want to make sure that we are following our game day rules as well in practice. So no profanity, no jewelry, etc. If for any reason you're not going to be at practice, you need to call or talk to me personally before you miss. If I'm not available, you may either leave a message on my school phone, 786-1220, extension 2391, or email me, and my email information is there. Please do not just miss practice. Cell phones will be shut off during practice. If a cell phone goes off or is seen, there will be a consequence for that player. We want the players to be focused on practice. We want the players to be focused at games. Cell phones will not be used during practice or be available during games. If players do not follow what we're asking or are not coachable, players will not start the next game that they would have started. Player will not suit up for the next game, or the player will be dismissed from the team. I want to make it very clear that the game of baseball is a privilege at West Salem High School. It's not a right, but we do have the right to dismiss you from the team. Please follow the rules. Please be where you're supposed to be. If you're unexcused, you need to understand that somebody else is here playing. So please make sure that you're at practice or you're at all the games. Injuries. We know players are going to get injured during the season. Please tell us so that we can set up the trainer to help you out. Taping. If you can't just wear ankle braces, you need to be taped. Please make sure you're taped in a timely fashion and you're out to practice or out to our games. COVID guidelines. Like I say in this statement, I'm not here to defend or promote any type of political agenda. At this time, we are going to follow the COVID guidelines that are shared to us by the district and the WIA. So at this time, masks are to be worn at all times, and we will enforce this. And any player not following this will be asked to leave practice or a game. We need to follow the guidelines that are set in front of us, whether we like it or not. I don't want people's political agendas to come into our practice facilities, our games. We need to understand we need to follow the guidelines. Wear your mask. We'll also have hand sanitizer in the dugout for players. We will also sanitize the dugouts and equipment after practices and games. Off-field expectations. We want to run a first-class team. We want to run a first-class program. Academically, we need to be eligible. We need to stay away from chemicals that are going to make us ineligible. You need to understand, too, if you are sent to the ALC, you're probably going to be punished during practice. If you're sent to the ALC on game day, you're probably not going to play in the game. Be first class in the classroom. We also encourage our players to promote themselves to the spring program. I won't tell a player not to play a sport on the weekend, but what I will tell a player is that if you're playing the sport on the weekend and you get hurt and somebody else takes your position and they're playing well when you come back, you're probably not going to get back in the game. So that's something that you need to weigh. What is more important? Is it the sport you're playing currently or a sport that you're trying to play? Our game schedules can be found on the Cooley Conference website. Please go there to look at them. I will not hand out a hard copy until closer to April 19th. Mr. Olson has talked to me and said that he is still working on C team games. Our JV and varsity schedule is pretty set, but our C team is a little light. But he also said that there are still games that are being rescheduled. And so for me to give you a schedule now, it might change many times before the season actually starts. So stay tuned. You can check out the Cooley Conference website, but those will change. If your son has not shared with you the Remind app or the Remind sign up, the code is here in front of you. Please sign up for the Remind app. This app is where we send out all of our announcements. If there's a cancellation, you're going to hear it from the school, but you'll also see it on the Remind app. You are more than welcome to share the Remind app with grandparents or family members so that they also get the updates. They will also probably get a lot of things that they don't need. So please caution them about signing up for the Remind app if they don't want to have things sent to them each week. Game expectations. We touched on this a little bit already. Attendance in class is mandatory. You must be in school all day. If you have an appointment, you need to bring a note back. Obviously, you need to be eligible. Please communicate with the coaching staff your goals. Personal appearance must be exemplary. So on game days, The plan is dress pants, dress shirt. There may be times we wear our sweatshirt, sweatpants, but we're going to look nice. We also would like clean haircuts, nice haircuts, hockey hair, mullets. Those things are in style. As long as they are presentable and good looking, then we'll be fine. If you can't keep your hat on, then we're going to have an issue and you're probably going to have to get a haircut. The other thing is facial hair. Duck Dynasty beards are really cool, but not on the baseball field. If we get into the playoffs and we want to talk about facial hair, the 3 or 4 guys that can actually grow beards on the team, we'll talk about it. The other guys will be fine. Home games, we do not want to get beat to the field. Be on time, be early, so that the visiting team doesn't beat us there. It's the spring. It's going to be cold. I've included things to have at games and practices. Please make sure you have them there. Please also make sure that all of your stuff is in your bag the night before. You're in high school now. Your mom and your dad are not responsible for putting water or food or your cleats or your jerseys in your bag. You are a young man. Become a young man and be responsible. Do not blame your parents ever for you forgetting something. That is on you as a high school player. Road games. Be ready 20 minutes before we leave. Same thing. Pack everything that you need. When we get on the bus, we're going to the game. When we're done with the game, we're all getting back on the bus. What I mean by that is you will ride the bus home with the team only under special circumstances that are communicated to the athletic director and coach prior to the game. Will a player ride home with a parent? Team unity is not a sometime thing. We want the kids together. We want them riding home together. We want them to build camaraderie with each other, have fun. And then there are times too, we may stop on the way home. A lot of our trips aren't very far, but there's a chance we could stop. If we don't stop, it is a good idea to bring a snack with or to have some food packed for the ride home. If we're going to stop, I will let the kids know prior to us doing that. Playing time expectations. It is my hope that everybody comes to want to play every single inning. The reality is that's just not going to happen. Players are going to play more than other players. If your child wants to know their playing time and why their playing time is not as much as somebody else, they are allowed to come and talk to us and we will help them and tell them these are the areas that you need to improve on to get more playing time. A parent should never talk to us about playing time, and we won't listen to a parent talk to us about playing time. So if there's something that your son communicates to you and you want clarification with, we can do that, but it will not be clarification on playing time. If there's something that happens at a game and you would like to talk to a coach, there's a 24-hour rule. I would also ask you that you do not contact coaches at home. Please contact them at school, 786-1220, extension 2391. That's my phone number. If there's an issue, I will get you guys in touch and set up a meeting for you that we can have in person and we can talk through it. Varsity game expectations. The varsity team is built with our best 9 players on the field. We are there to win games, and our goal at the varsity level is to win our last game of the season, which means a state title. So we are going to put the best 9 that we have in our program on the field every time. Junior varsity is a little different. We're still going to start our best 9, but we're also going to be working kids in that we feel can help us at the varsity level. This is our feeder program. We still want to play competitive. We want to have a chance to win, but we also want guys that could potentially push our varsity guys for starting positions. C-team. C-team, kids are going to play. The best 9 will start, and then we will rotate guys in. It won't be equal, but we'll try to get everybody in as much as possible. At the C-team level, winning games is important, but the development of players supersedes wins and losses. The equipment for every practice. As you see, I have a list of things that players should be putting in their bag, and really that stuff should stay in their bag until we are consistently in the 70s at practicing games. There's no reason for us to go to a game and have people shivering or having people asking their parents to go get them coats or blankets to stay warm. This should be all packed in their bag. And one reason why we ask the kids to buy sweatpants, sweatshirts, and t-shirts with our order during the spring. There's a list of behaviors that are not the West Salem way of playing baseball. You can run through those. One major one that I have is not hustling. You can hustle onto the field, off to the field. You can hustle to the bases. You can hustle to foul balls. The big thing is we want people to do the right thing at the right time. If you follow this list of things, hopefully we can talk about them and we can make our program better. The West Salem Baseball Creed, I would like your player to read this, go through it, live it, and sign it. Athlete Code of Conduct. After going through this packet, after listening to this video, your son should feel confident enough to sign this. If they're not confident enough to sign this, they need to talk to me. Parent Code of Conduct. This is a huge one. Parents, when you come to the game, you are there to be a spectator that is there to support your son. You are not an umpire. If you want to be an umpire, I can help you get an umpire license through the WIA, and then you can umpire. You are not a coach. If you are a coach, you would be on my staff. Do not coach from the stands. If you want to coach your son at home, that's awesome. But hopefully you're coaching the things that we want them to know. Do not coach from the stands, please. Also, please share this with people that are going to come to the games. Because if there's a problem or an issue, then it's going to be reflected on your child's playing time or the removal of you or whoever's with you from the game. Please follow the guidelines that we have set up. Be a parent. Thank you. Our West Salem baseball practice plans are going to look similar to this. Please take a look at them. Each day from 3:15 to 3:45, the student or the player will report to either the weight room or study hall. Players need to maintain academic eligibility. I will be looking at their grades each day to make sure that they are doing well, and it's going to be live grades. If a student is failing at any point in the season, it doesn't have to be mid-quarter or quarter, I will be helping them by putting them in a study hall from 3:15 to 3:45. If a player is doing everything we ask them to, well, they're going to be getting better as an athlete. They're going to be in the weight room, working out every day that we have practice. When we get to the field, we'll start getting into more arm care, baseball type stuff, throwing, and we'll have a throwing progression that's set up. We'll get into our fielding positions, infield, outfield, hitting, all those types of things are all set up and laid out here for you. Like I said earlier when I was talking, between 5:50 and 6 o'clock, we're going to stretch. And then at 6 to 6:15, we're going to put the field to bed, which means that the kids are going to be helping with raking, putting equipment away. Like I said, putting it to bed, making sure that our facility is first class, looks great, and a place where people want to come and play. We always have other items that we're going to talk about too, so that'll be at the end. We'll take a few minutes to go through these items that you see in front of you, and obviously other items that the coaches have come up throughout the week. I hope that tonight you got a little bit of a glimpse of what West Salem baseball is going to look like. It's important that we all are on the same page. It's important that when you guys come to the game, you have a great experience and your child has a great experience. I look forward to working with you and working with your student. And if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out and communicate those with me. Take care and have a good day.